was trying to just give you guys a little insight on Aries. He started hitting that stage at 14 years old. That is young to get on stage, man. How did you even, like, first of all, this is what I want to know before we go there. Who raised you?
Technically my mother, but television. You know, my mother worked 2 jobs because my father wasn't really there. He didn't really come in until later in the picture when he decided he wanted to be involved. So my mother had to work 2 jobs to hold it down for me and my sister living in New York and growing up in Jersey. And, you know, so I was a latchkey kid. So, you know, she did the best she could, but, you know, I ended up watching a lot of television. So TV raised me.
Right. Yeah. I guess TV raised me to an extent too, man, because I saw a life that I wanted, that I didn't have, that didn't exist for me, and I wanted a better life. So I saw certain images that I saw. It gave me some motivation to do better. Now, we're going through this, the whole nation is reeling from this coronavirus. How are you getting along over there?
You know, I'm trying not to let panic set in, you know, because one of my favorite quotes from Johnny Cochran is, the only thing you have during a crisis is your conduct during it. And, you know, there are people out here that panic, man. Yeah, we all want to be responsible and wash our hands and use hand sanitizers, but there are a lot of people who don't have the right information. For instance, you might see a lot of people at the grocery store or out in public with these gloves on. And I sent out a post on Instagram. Wearing the gloves is actually more dangerous because whatever it is that you contract on the gloves, you touching everything else. So in other words, you spreading it to other people. If you in the grocery store touching boxes, nah, I don't want that. Touching produce, nah, I don't want that. And you picking shit up off the shelves, all of that contamination is going wherever you touch it. Door handles, steering wheels, anything. So actually you are spreading it. So it's better to not wear the gloves and just wash your hands.
Wouldn't you spread it if you wash your hands? Aren't you still spreading it until you wash your hands?
I mean, yeah, technically you could be, but the idea is if you already washed your hands before you go out and you keep hand sanitizer on you and you keep using the hand sanitizer as you're doing what you do, that's better than wearing the gloves. I wish I could actually read to you what, and this wasn't my information. This was medical information because me trying to convey it, I might not say all the technical things that need to be said to get the gist of it. So coming from me, it sounds fucked up because it sounds like I'm all over the place, but the theory in which it was written is absolutely sensical.
Right. How is this thing affecting the bag for you? You know, how is this COVID-19 thing affecting the bag?
Well, you know, all my shows have been canceled. So, you know, and I work every week for the entire year. I'm booked up all year long. So I think it was in late February, but maybe the last week of February, I got the word that all of March was canceled. And, you know, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, all of April was canceled. And they say we're not going to go back to normal until May, top of May. So for 2 months, I ain't making no bread. So
what's this thing that Trump is doing? He said April 30th. What's that about? Did you hear?
I think I haven't heard the whole thing, but I think April 30th was supposed to be the deadline as far as people going back to normalcy, businesses opening back up.
Yeah. And
life, you know, just resuming its natural course.
Right. What's your thoughts on that though? Like, how do you think this whole coronavirus came into play? Do you believe in it that it started in Wuhan?
You know, I don't get too deep into conspiracy theories, and you know, I've heard a lot of them, but I also know that this government is tricky, and you know, we don't control the government. They do. And by they, I mean the mayonnaise people. And we know they tricky. So I wouldn't put anything past anything. But I just would love for shit to get back to normal. just because this is, this is a terrible situation to be in. Money-wise, it's fucked up. I love my lady, but I don't want to be around this bitch this long.
Hey, I'm laughing about something else, man. It ain't got nothing to do with what you just said. But, listen here. I want to know this. Like, so this, when you think about Trump and his leadership regarding the coronavirus, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what's his grade?
Well, first of all, you used the wrong word. There ain't no leadership anywhere.
Right.
This is a dictatorship. This man is so narcissistic, and he's displayed all the functions of somebody that's a dictator. I can't stand the motherfucker. I really can't.
Right.
And despite what some Black people's feelings are about Obama, I'm going to stand behind Obama because I personally think he did a great job. And if for nothing else, these right-wing white men stand by their own. So why can't we stand behind our own, despite whatever Obama's imperfections were? Donald Trump committed treason. He betrayed the country. He colluded with Russia. And them right-wing white men made sure that he didn't get acquitted. The way historically, they have always made sure their own were not held accountable. So if white folks look after their own, I'm sorry, I got to look after my own.
But wouldn't the president of the United States have to conform to the America's agenda no matter who he is? Like for instance, it's my theory that the president of the United States is just a figurehead, and it's all about who you can stand to look at and hear for the next 4 to 8 years. Like personally, I don't believe that any of them has the power to do anything that the elite don't tell them to do or don't co-sign. Because if they do, I think they're going to have a problem breathing.
I don't doubt what you're saying either. But to say that he has absolutely no influence and no say, I don't know that I buy that. Like I hear people say that, and I agree.
I think he has influence. I think he has influence and he has say, but I think it's okay. It's kind of like having a child in your house. Like your child has certain privileges that you give them, and then there are things that they're going to have to ask you for. They're going to have to ask you about. So you let your child, your child comes in the house. The child don't have to ask you, can I grab something out of the refrigerator, Dad? Can I go to bed? Can I step outside? They don't have to ask you all of that type of stuff. But there's certain things, can you give me some money so I can go on this field trip? Can I spend the night at such and such house? So I kind of liken it to that. Like these presidents, yeah, they got some wiggle room to do certain things that they want to do or whatever, and that they can put an ID on. But other than that, when it comes to certain things, like say for instance, Gaddafi getting killed. Gaddafi was going to get killed no matter who the president was, right? They were going to kill Gaddafi no matter who the president was. That was the agenda. So it could have been, whether it was Barack, it's really sad that they used a black man to take out Gaddafi. They did it on Obama's watch. But what do you think would have happened if Obama hadn't taken out Gaddafi? If the elite said, yeah, we want Gaddafi out of here, we want him out. Gaddafi is a friend of the black community.
First of all, I think it's ironic in your last statement that you used the word child as an example, because that's exactly what we have in the White House is a child. Listen, man, I'm not heavy. And like one of my favorite shows on TV is Real Time with Bill Maher. And as a comedian, one of the reasons why I like watching that show, and in particularly Bill Maher, is because, like, let's put it in basketball terms. Michael Jordan was a complete player. He could do everything. He had no weaknesses. Politics is something I don't do well, comedically. Bill Maher is one of the masters at political comedy. So because I know I don't do that well, I watch it in envy because I'm trying to learn how to be better. I'm trying to pick up on certain things in terms of how to do political comedy, because that's a very hard thing to do. So I say that to say this. D.L. Hewley, who I have the utmost respect for.
That's the first thing. The first name came to my mind.
One of the smartest, funniest niggas in the game.
Yeah.
He's constantly on that show. And every time I talk to DL, I commend him and go, man, that political shit, nigga, you savvy, you know it. So I'm not really political heavy, political conscious. So I can't deeply give you an answer as to what's right or wrong about Gaddafi, because quite frankly, I don't know much about it.
Gotcha. Okay. I can dig that. I can respect that. Well, what you do know a lot about is being blackballed. So I wanna pick your brain a little bit on that. Like, who, you've said often that you feel like you've been blackballed by the industry.
And before you answer, let me say this.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't know that that's for sure,
and then,
but that's how it feels.
But that's where I'm going, because I feel that's what I can relate to you, because I heard you say that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Because I got certain access. You're gonna see me in certain places. If I really want to do something, really want to be somewhere, I'm gonna be there. It don't really matter who's throwing it, whatever's going on. If I really want to be in a certain space, I'm gonna be in that certain space. But I do feel like it's me against them, the establishment. Oftentimes, I do feel like it's me against them. And so that's why I ask you that, to get your thoughts on that. You feel like, it's you against it. Let me ask you this. Is there anybody in particular, do you believe, that has ever like blocked you from blessings in the game?
Well, I'll say this. Based on certain things I've said, I may have blocked myself. But I always stand behind what I say, but it may not have been the smartest thing to say. Certain things you know, based on what you're trying to accomplish or what you'd like to have, it might be better to shut the fuck up. Right. And I have a problem shutting the fuck up, especially when I'm passionate about my feelings. I always say this. We all know as people, ideally, who we would like to be, and then we know who we really are. I got Michael Corleone ambitions, but I got Sonny Corleone execution. I would love to be quiet and stoic and calculated and strategic and make my moves where people don't see them coming. That's some Don, that's some Michael Corleone shit. But I'm more like, nigga, what? What you say? Yeah. Man, fuck this. And in this business, and a lot of times in life, that's dangerous.
That don't work.
Like Dave Chappelle's sketch, when keeping it real goes wrong. Just because it's real don't make it the right thing to do. Right. You know what I mean?
And was there a turn in your career that you started like really feeling this way, that you felt like you had to be, really vocal about how you felt about things? Because I remember, when you was doing stand-up early on, it was just really pretty much jokes. I really didn't hear you like, being personal. Like now, like damn near every thought you have, man, you taking the Instagram, you go on social media, you letting motherfuckers know this is how I feel. This is what it is. And oftentimes it seemed like you just had the thought, just like you turned the damn phone on, like and just started talking, like you just, like going off the top of the head, this is how I feel.
Right.
So at what point, was there a point that you made the a transition? Or was it always there, but it was just simmering?
Listen, I've never wanted to be comedically a one-trick pony. And it used to bother me when people would say, all he does is impressions. And it's like, nah, again, if I'm talking in basketball terms, my hero is Michael Jordan. I want to show people that, hey, I don't just dunk. I can shoot and play defense. I got basketball IQ. I can pass. I can rebound. I can do it all. Mm-hmm. So I never wanted to be just that. And my two favorite comedians, Dave Chappelle and God rest his soul, Patrice O'Neal. Mm-hmm. And both of those guys, like there's levels to this shit. And comedically, yeah, you could look at a dude and go, hey, look, if your job is just to be funny, which that's our number one job, well then whether you like Carrot Top or whether you like Patrice, both dudes are accomplishing the goal. They're making you laugh. Comedy's subjective, but there's levels to this. And Dave and Patrice were on the highest of levels because they weren't just funny as fuck, they were thought-provoking. Comedy is supposed to make you feel a little uncomfortable. It's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to challenge you.
Right.
And I've always wanted to be able to do that. I've always wanted people to come to a show and go, man, that nigga's crowd work. Man, that nigga's impressions. Man, that nigga's jokes. This nigga can go political. He can go blue. This nigga got range. This motherfucker, like I wanted people to walk away going, this nigga's got skills. So, you know, plus, and not only that, listen, man, as vain as we are as entertainers, at the end of the day, I know this Hollywood shit is a bunch of bullshit. The money's nice, the fame, the attributes, all the shit you get from it is beautiful. But I care more about being a human being. And it's hard for me to turn on the news and watch cops, I forget the brother's name, but the one that they said they always found a gun. Watching a motherfucker put a gun to a nigga chest at point blank range and shoot him to the point where you see blood spreading out on the concrete. When I saw that footage, I cried, I got mad. It's hard for me to see a cop take a 14-year-old black girl and pull a WWF move on her and slam her to the ground. And I gotta go, what if that was my daughter? What would I do? Knowing that I got to do something. That's my child, I'm gonna die. Because if this nigga don't give a fuck about a 14-year-old, he damn sure ain't gonna give a fuck about a 44-year-old angry black man. So I'm going to die. And I look at this shit and it fucks with me. So I can't just sit back and just do nothing. Even if I voice my opinion and it changes somebody's mind or it moves somebody to do something.
Let me get some clarification on you saying, you know, I'm gonna die if they put their hands on mine. Are you saying that it's gonna be suicide by cop, or are you saying you're gonna do something, you're handling your business, and then if they're gonna probably give you the death penalty for handling your business, and then you die? That's what
I'm talking about in the moment. In the moment, if I'm a father and I look at a cop manhandle my 14-year-old daughter and I hear her scream, cry, say daddy, nigga, I'm gonna black out and do some James Amos Good times 50 shit.
Yeah, so
I know the minute I get involved in that, I'm dead.
Well, in that scenario, you know, you ain't necessarily gotta die. You know what I mean? You know, it's ways to, you know, if you committed and don't give a damn what happened after that, then, you know, it's ways to, you know, handle that business up, you know, and make sure he never put his hands on another a person's daughter.
But to even have to make that choice, to even have to ponder that is insane.
It is insane. It is, man. You know, it just shows where we are as a society. You know, societies are supposed to go forward, not backwards. And this is how I see America going backwards with all of its technology and all of its intelligence and its books and its scientists and all of these smart people. We're going backwards.
Well, I hope we don't go too far backwards, because if we do, we're gonna be in jewelry again. You know what I mean? So listen, obviously has much changed if in perspective to the 60s, yes. But the only difference now is we have this technology to expose what's always going on. What's always going on. It's just crazy to me because, you know, you try to create a dialogue with people. And what I'm finding out, and it's unfortunate, yes, there are a lot of white people who have been in the fight with us. There are a lot of white folks who believe what we believe and sympathize and will be on the front lines with us. So I can't sit here and say all white folks, but I find it disheartening that when you talk to people and when you see some of the comments on social media, it just amazes me how racist a lot of white folks can be. And at the end of the day, they really don't give a damn. You can talk to you blue in the face. Their minds are made up. And no matter how much sense you make, no matter how much you rationalize, it's like their ears should be bigger than their mouths. And it's the other way around. They don't listen. They don't even want to hear. At some point, if you claim you care, if you claim you're not racist, you have to shut the fuck up and listen to what Black people are telling you. If all of us are saying the same shit, we cannot all be wrong. And white folks' arrogance to me is amazing. Either dismissive, naive, insensitive, or just straight up arrogant. The comments in this shit. The comments scroll down when this shit airs.
I think what throws off, well, first and foremost, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of that in this chat because I got some excellent moderators. They're on the job. We don't, you know, they don't get no action over here. Ain't nothing but pain on this side, you know, of the equation for them. But I think that, I think perhaps we're giving Black people collectively too much credit as far as caring, because this is what I mean. I think that oftentimes white people who are racist look for that silver lining, that Black Sambo, that tap dancer who says everything's fine. Why y'all tripping? Ain't no such thing as racism, like Candace Owens was saying that we're in a post society. And you had you had Charles Barkley, who was saying that the jury got it right in the Trayvon Martin case. And he also backed Officer Wilson, who gunned down Michael Brown in cold blood. He said they got it right. So you have one of the most effective tools in white supremacy is a Black person, because they're unsuspecting to Black people. And you know, those white executives who are oftentimes in charge of them, who stroke the check, can say, look, I'm not racist. Look, I hired him. I hired her. Look.
Or so, look what he said. Look what she said.
Exactly. And they're hiring them to do their bidding. They hired them, you know, Charles Barkley and Stephen A., these type of cats, and Candace Owens, Ray Lewis, they get hired to say what their bosses can't say.
Listen, coonism, like racism, is hereditary. It's been passed down. No one is born a racist, no one is born a coon. Both things have been taught. If you've been a coon since slavery, guess what? Your kids gonna be coons, and your kids gonna be coons, because that's how you've been trained to think. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you who's the honorary members of the coon camp. And you just said the one, and I can't stand that bedwench. Candace Owens, Paris Denard, Omarosa, this nigga who I really hate his fucking guts, Terrence Williams, who was the reason I got suspended off Twitter. Sheriff Clark, Larry Elders, and of course, Diamond and Silk, AKA and Show Liz. I can't stand these niggas, man. I can't stand these niggas, man.
Yeah, they got a lot of company. The sad thing about it is that what you alluded to a little bit earlier was that, man, they got children. So they got these little baby start with C rhymes with moon. And it's gonna be bad, man. Like you say, it's taught. So they're teaching those little jigaboos, you know, on how to handle other, you know what? They teach them how to handle Black people more than they teach them how to handle anybody else. Like, this is how you handle those Negroes who say America ain't never been great. This is how you handle those Negroes who don't feel privileged to, or don't respect the privileges that they have right here in America.
I think you're being too kind in the way that you're describing how they talk to them. You're almost making them sound like they speak like that. No, right. Nigga, they go into slave mode. You know this white man gonna tell you here. This how you handle these niggas here. Them niggas sound like the nigga from the Django, man. Come on, man. Them niggas don't talk that way. Them niggas get the eyes bucket and the you so real. Come on, man. Them niggas make me sick, nigga.
hold on, man. Listen, I heard you say earlier, you mentioned, I want to go back for a minute. You mentioned Dave Chappelle and Patrice O'Neal. But you also mentioned a couple of other comedians in your Mount Rushmore. And you said that Dave Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal, Bill Burr, and Corey Holcomb was on your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Now, I know you and Corey, and I would be remiss in not bringing this up. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not trying to fuel nothing because that ain't my style. You know, like I'm very much about unity because we can't afford enough. We can't afford any more enemies, right? So my thing is like, I know that you and Corey had a situation, you know, that happened when you was on his show. Is there any chance at all that you could, like, you know, would be cool with, you know, burying the hatchet?
Listen, I've said this relentlessly.
Yeah.
No matter what went down, it ain't gonna change how I feel about Corey as a comic. The nigga's incredible. So whether we never speak again, whatever, if he holds any animosity towards me, any anger, from what I've heard, I don't know for sure, but I've heard, you know, long after the incident, you know, Corey's made jokes and took shots at me, and that's his prerogative. But it don't change how I feel about him as a comic. I still respect him as a comic. His skill level is still bananas. It's just personally, we not that no more. You know,
is he still on your Mount Rushmore?
Yes. That don't change that.
Right.
Nigga still dope. I still look at his old shit and laugh. It's
you know
just
what?
Personally, we different. But it's funny that you mentioned we don't need no more enemies, and you don't want to fuel nothing. I wish the 5150 gang could take what you said and really digest that, because they're the ones that keep the fuel going. You know, every now and then, one of them corny ass niggas hit me up on Instagram and go, yeah, the 5150 raccoon, the 5150 raccoon strikes again. So listen, I get it. Y'all niggas is like the Beehive for Corey. Y'all niggas is the Rihannas. Y'all the sugar smack niggas. I get it. Y'all keep that nigga dick in y'all mouth. I get it. Y'all his choir. But you know, my feelings about Corey, got nothing but respect and love for Corey comedically. Personally, that's a different issue. But you 5150 niggas, y'all are gay as hell, man.
Yeah, I look at it like this, like when it comes to like rap, like these beefs and stuff, like, and I was about to say rap beefs, but you know, even this beef with, you know, the comedic beef or whatever, and I know that's a lot of those people ain't got no idea how many beefs are out there. But what I look at it like this. The blogs, the radio stations, the video channels, those are in the newspapers. These people, they fuel the fire, and the fans take the bait. The fans, I do believe, and I'm not singling out the 5150 fan base, because they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to ride for their guy. You know, if you had a base, you know, not if you had, but your base, they ain't got a particular name, I don't think, but your base is gonna ride for you. So I get that. You know, Beehive's supposed to ride for Beyonce. That's what they do. So I'm not singling out anybody, but I do believe that in general, the fans are what got Tupac and Biggie killed. Because if the fans would not have taken the bait when I was there, I was right in the middle of it. And I also was there when the whole thing got patched up. I was at Farrakhan's house. We sat there, and I sat there with a number of other hip hop luminaries and other people that was involved at the time that was leaders in the community. And we hatched a plan to squash the many beefs simultaneously. And that's how the whole East Coast, West Coast thing got dead. So, so I have some experience on this type of stuff, dealing with this stuff. And I've seen the fans fuel the fire, and then somebody get hurt. And then the first thing they want to do is say, oh man, we need to get along. We need to do this. But everybody fueled it. And then the people that are the primary subjects are the ones who suffer the most. So when I speak, like about this particular situation, it hurt me like a motherfucker that you and Corey was beefing, because both of you guys, I'm cool with both of you guys. And so, and I know that what both of you guys bring to the table for comedy is unmatched. I mean, both of you guys are necessary, and both of you guys are anti-establishment. That's why I like both of y'all. But men have to do what men have to do. Sometimes men have to speak, directly to each other instead of talking to everybody else. But I just wanted to touch on that, man.
Listen. I've heard several people tell me, even Godfrey, comedian Godfrey, who spoke to Zoe Williams and said, "Hey man, Zoe really is apologetic about that situation. He would love to squash that." And I said, "Well, nigga, he got, if he want to reach out to me, he can reach out to me. Now he ain't never reached out to me. That's not to say that he don't want to squash it, but I'm not gonna look for you to. I'm not hunting you down to say sorry to me for some shit you did. You know what I mean? If you really want to find me, find me." Again, as far as Corey go, for the record, that's a cold motherfucker. I'm still a Corey Holcomb fan. If the nigga put out a special tomorrow, I'm watching it. Are we gonna slap hands and eat dinner? No. But if he want to talk to me, I'm open. I'm open. Like I said, it's his gang, the 5150 gang. And listen, I get it. Some of them niggas ain't got no lives. Some of them niggas ain't fulfilled their dreams. So a lot of that shit is bitter shit. This, like, World Star Hip Hop has the angriest niggas I've ever seen on it. Them niggas be angry. So, whatever, man. I'm gonna keep doing what I do. You gonna talk shit to me? I'm gonna eat your ass. I'm gonna eat you, because that's what I do.
Let's switch gears for a moment. I want to go back to this blackballing thing, because you know what? Before I go there, what do you think about Steve Harvey?
Steve's a funny dude, man. Steve's a funny motherfucker. And again, as far as, like, I know people have given him shit and called him a coon, but I'm not that up on what he has done to warrant that. I don't know exactly. Oh my God, I can't point to something and go, oh, that's why.
Okay, I can tell you.
Okay.
I can tell you a whole lot, but we ain't got enough time. My audience is very familiar with Steve Harvey and his shenanigans. But one of the things I can tell you right off.
Let me say this. I saw when him and Monique got into it.
Yeah.
And he said, "This ain't the
money. This ain't the integrity game. It's the money.
This the money game."
Yeah.
Now I know people hear that and go, "Nigga, you should never sell your soul for money. You should never let money dictate." And I understand where that comes from, and I agree with that. But I also think people don't understand what maybe he didn't articulate it right, or his words fucked it up. I wouldn't have said, fuck your integrity. But what I understood where he was coming from was, look, if you got a family to feed, kids to take care of, people that depend on you, that don't mean do soft shoe. That don't mean shuck and jive and buck. But what it means is try not to let things disrupt what's more important for the moment. Taking care of my family, making sure my kids eat, they got a roof over their head, clothes on their back. Again, this is a very fine line, and this is very tricky because people interpret this the wrong way. I'm not saying sell out. I'm not saying buck and coon. I'm not saying shuffle and jive. I'm just saying, like I said earlier, certain things that you don't need to say or do, maybe hold back. And let me give you an example. When I did Vlad TV and I said what I said about Jordan Peele, I believed what I said, but because I said it, it cost me opportunities with Jordan Peele. When I went and auditioned for The Last OG, the role eventually went to Cedric the Entertainer, which I can almost even understand because he's the bigger name. He's the bigger star. But I would be remiss if I didn't think, come on, man, Jordan heard what you said. He was the only black dude in the room, surrounded by 15 white boys. You don't think them white boys, if he didn't see what I said, go, hey, man, you need to look at this. Look at what this nigga said. So whether they did it or whether he saw it on his own, he saw it. That this nigga's going on to win Oscars, produce TV shows with Al Pacino, two of the biggest blockbuster movies of all time, Get Out and Us. And now he's doing the remake on Candyman. I may have been a part of some of that if I didn't say what I said. So what do you make of that?
I get that. I get that part, but I think that if that was coming from someone with integrity, people would have given him the benefit of doubt. Everybody knows that Steve Harvey is a buck dancer. He's shucking jives. So that's the difference. It was who was saying it, who was telling her that, because people know where he was coming from, what kind of place, what kind of space he was coming from. So his reputation preceded him in that tap dancing department. So that's why people looked at it like that with him. Monique is one of the most solid individuals in the world. But I remember when Monique first came out, started talking about her problems that she had with Netflix, a whole lot of people just was against Monique. The same people that was with Monique at first immediately picked sides. And a lot of them picked the sides of whatever the biggest entity is oftentimes. This is why when rappers get in beefs, it really ain't wise for a rapper to go up against a rapper that's way up here who got millions and millions of fans and he ain't got but 30 or 40. Because guess what? Whoever got the most fans, the perception is gonna be they won.
Well, let me ask you, I'm glad you said that. Because now as I'm talking to a rap legend, here's where I'm gonna go and I want your opinion.
Yeah. Skillfully,
we know Cannabis whooped LL's ass, but LL is LL. Cannabis is Cannabis. So when LL said that line about 99% of your fans don't exist, that to me sounds like that adheres to your point. Mm-hmm. People will give LL the nod. Well, I don't know. Real niggas that love rap, lyricists, street niggas, we all know who won that beef. But on paper, LL is LL, nigga. He's up here. Cannabis is... But as a rap fan, as a lyrical fan, no, Cannabis destroyed LL. No question.
What's the, and since we're on hip hop, and I know you a huge hip hop fan, reiterate your top 5 for me.
Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, Jadakiss. And then the 5th spot's a toss-up between Rakim and Eminem.
That's a good list. The thing about that top 5, man, is that there are so many great MCs that have come through over the years. It's really going to boil down to, before I say this, do you listen to all of those artists that you just named? Do you listen to them more than you listen to other rappers?
Yes, because I'm admittedly biased. I'm a New York nigga.
My point.
But Willie, listen now. Listen. That being said, I'm a lyricist, dude. I care about metaphors, punchlines, flow. Now, I'm not trying to piss off the West Coast, the South, or the Midwest. But when it comes to lyrics, I gotta quote Jay-Z, New York, home of the spitters. Niggas in New York and the East Coast care about lyrics. I'm not saying West Coast cats don't. I'm not saying down South cats don't. Midwest cats don't. It just seemed like we better with it. Now I can already hear motherfuckers' toes get curling because niggas ride for their city. Niggas ride where they from. But I'm talking about from A to Z, lyrical ability, metaphors, punchlines, delivery. I don't know that there's another coast that's as cold with it. Not saying other coasts ain't cold. I'm just saying as cold with it.
Well, that's arguable.
That's subjective. Subjective.
It's very suggestive because, again, that's why I don't even do the top 5, top 10, top 20, because it all boils down to, like I said, it's so many great artists. It's so many great artists out there. A lot of really good guys, great guys, don't even get mentioned a lot of times in these.
Listen, Jeezy, Andre 3000. Nigga, I'm a fanboy for a minute. Nigga, y'all. I grew up on y'all, nigga.
Wait. Let's pull back for a minute. King. All right. King, Will, Willie D, homie, homeboy, what, but anything but nigga, dog. Please do not call me nigga. I was trying to see if you're gonna catch it. I was trying to see if you're gonna catch a snap, man. But goddamn, boy, you started doing it more. You started turning up the frequency, man.
Okay, all right. King. Is that better?
That's better, man. That made me stand proud like a peacock, man.
King. Well, I grew up on you, King. So, I remember there's certain parts in my childhood coming up. I don't mean childhood, but more teenagehood.
Yeah.
Me and my boys rock to y'all, man. Hard. So I got respect for everybody everywhere. I'm just being honest. I'm such a New York nigga. I shower with my Timbs on. Like, I'm just a New York nigga, son.
You can't help it.
Now let me ask you something, because that's interesting to me. How come you were so bothered by the N-word?
Because I'm the type of person, I take words literally.
Right.
So, like, if someone was to call me a bitch, I start thinking about what I think of what a bitch is.
Right.
And, like, that's why, I remember a few years ago, maybe 20 years ago or so, dudes, that started becoming a thing. Dudes would call it, oh, bitch, like they talk to their homeboy like that. Like,
I ain't never heard of no shit like that.
Oh yeah, they were doing it down here. They were doing it in the South. Yeah, oh bitch, oh, and then next thing you know, ding ding, fries and shake. Laying on his back. So I take words literally. So when I use that word, I do use the word, but when I use it for its intended purpose. Like, I think of it, I use it in connection. I use it as a derogatory term. If I say it, I am saying it, I am frustrated with that person, I'm irritated with that person, I want to probably ride on that person. So,
but you take it as derogatory coming from another Black person?
Yeah, I do. I just don't like being called a word. I just don't like it. I don't like being called that word. Like, but I'm gonna tell you something else too. Like I don't like really being called out of my name in any kind of capacity, right? Say, for instance, like, sometimes I remember when I used to be in high school, sometimes my homie or somebody might say, oh boy, you a fool. And I'm like, a fool? No, I ain't no fool, man. You know, I know I know what they think it means. You know, like in their mind, like, oh, you're a fool. You know, you tripping. You know, whatever. But in my mind, a fool is somebody who is not careful. You know, somebody who is reckless. And you know, I didn't appreciate being called that. So if somebody was to call me a fool, it would just, you know, it would just
Right.
it would make me snap, you know, like kind of like if somebody was to call like you know how sometimes people call crazy people crazy?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that have mental issues and they've been called crazy before, and if somebody called them crazy, that's that key word that'll make them lose it. That's how I am with those type of words.
Wow. So let me ask you, you fucking a girl, right? And the pussy is fantastic. And at one point she go, ooh, Willie D, nigga. You stop him?
I stop it and choke her out. No, I'm kidding. but you know how women have those key things that what Kevin Hart said, that word, I think he had the, it was something that he said when he was doing his stand-up, and he says he and his woman have a safe word when they're having sex, and it's a
Right.
safe word. So
Right.
that's one of them things, like I'll be like, that's a turn up, you know, like, yeah, you know, like, oh, don't be telling me that, man, you know.
Right.
I ain't with it. You know, I ain't gonna choke her out right there the first time. All right, lady. All right, I'm tripping. All right. Moving on. How we end up there, man?
Because we just shooting the shit, bro.
How do we end up there?
We just shooting the shit, man.
Let me ask you something. You know, we talked about gatekeepers in Hollywood, and you know, some of the people that might be out there blocking. Who in Hollywood do you trust?
I don't trust nobody. You know, I got my two best friends who I've known since 4th and 5th grade. Mm-hmm. That's who I trust. I don't trust nobody.
Right.
Especially this Hollywood game. Because this shit is so fickle and so phony.
Yeah.
You know, it's mind-blowing to me, man. I did an audition one time, and I'm driving back, and I'm in Studio City, and I pull up at a stoplight, and this black SUV pulls up next to me. Windows are tinted. I can't really see who's in it, but I can see enough to see that the driver is motioning for me to put my window down. Mm-hmm. I put my window down, it's Mark Wahlberg. And Mark Wahlberg looks over and he goes, yo, you a funny motherfucker, man. You a funny motherfucker. He said it with such passion. And I'm like, oh, and this is Mark fucking Wahlberg. He's one of the biggest stars in the game. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I said, yo, Mark, man, let me get your number, man. Maybe we could do something. You got a production company? So he gave me his man's number, which already lets you know, oh, shit. Like, why wouldn't you give me your number personally if you're that much of a fan? But I get it. Maybe you got a lot of motherfuckers that'll call you, so you hand me off to your man. I said, okay. Long story short, called him a couple times, nothing ever happened. And this is the part of this business.
Did you contact with him? Did you at least talk to him?
No. Okay. I called his man 2-3 times. It was always, Mark's doing something, he gonna get back to you, blah, blah, blah. And I got a 3-call rule. I'm gonna call you 3 times. Mm-hmm. Whether I call you, text you, email you, voicemail you 3 times. After that, I'm done. I'm not chasing you. And I'm just going, you know, everybody goes, everything happens for a reason. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck was the reason for that. This nigga stopped me, told me to put my window down, complimented me. Well, then let's do something, man. And so many of these cats talk shit, but when it's time to move, nothing.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done somebody like that? Like say, yo, yeah, you know, here go my number, and then when they call you, you know, you ain't got time for them? No, because if I don't want to fuck with you, I just won't fuck with you. Mm-hmm. So, and when I have given my number, I will do things within reason. You know, you got to be careful because some motherfuckers,
go out of reason. Hey man, I'm so glad. Like you telling me about your music. Then when we talk, hey man, can you help with 3 months of my rent? Nigga,
Right.
why are we talking about that now? Like it just, so you got to kind of be careful with that.
Right.
Listen, people assume because I'm in the business, I can change their life. No, I can't. I can help where I can, but I can only do so much.
Well, if you help, it depends on what you do though, like, because just planting a seed, I mean, just making an introduction, who knows what could become of that, it's not a lot of people in Hollywood that actually would just automatically just introduce somebody to somebody and not expect anything in return. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And it's probably like that. I'm sure it's like that in the rest of the world, but everybody is always like trying to see what they can get out of a situation. And I think, but I believe personally, depends on how much work you're putting in. If I'm putting in some work now, I'm not gonna go work for you. Now, if I gotta work for you, asking me to work, that's different. Then I'm gonna have to get paid. But if I'm in a room and I've already vetted you, I know you are. I ain't just introduce anybody, but if I already vetted you and I know you straight people, you good or whatever, and it's somebody right here I can introduce you to, bam, y'all take it from there. I'm good. I've done a lot of that. I've done that hundreds of times in this industry, and without really even looking for anything. But that's kind of, yeah.
And I'm sorry. And now that you brought it, let me dispel a myth, because again, I know as people watch this on YouTube, I know when you scroll down and read the comments, let me dispel a myth that has been around about me. People, some comedians, Black comedians in particular, dudes who are on the come up or trying to make a name for themselves. There's this rumor going around that Aries refuses to work with other Black comedians. Okay, first of all, let me say this. I've worked with other Black comedians. Prior to the dude who opens for me now, Andy Steinberg, and we have a podcast together, I used to fuck with a dude out of Atlanta named Gerard Guillory, and he would open for me. But we eventually got into a beef over some shit where, again, once you start helping people, at some point people become comfortable. And once they get comfortable, they start to expect you to do things you normally wouldn't do. But I don't want to get off my point. My point is this. Yes, I don't want, like, I come out and I do 20 minutes, 30 minutes of racial material. And if you come out before me and that's your whole act, and now you've done 30 minutes of racial material, I do 30 minutes of racial material, and my audience is extremely mixed, there's too much of there's too much of a good thing. I don't want to beat the audience over the head with white people, Black people jokes. It's too much. So yes, and most times when I've tried to work with Black comics, I will tell them, hey man, because I touch on this, do me a favor, don't touch on that. And they go, yeah, I got you. Then they go out there and they do exactly what they want. And I've had that happen too many times. So yes, I would prefer, just to mix the show up and give it some variety, I would prefer a white dude open up for me. That's not to say that I'm opposed to a Black dude, but if you're gonna be rebellious and do what you wanna do after I've given you specific directions to do what I need you to do, well then yeah, that's a problem. And here's the last thing. I'm 30 years in this game. I've earned my stripes. I'm a vet. I don't have to answer to you. So to all of you niggas that talk about Aries don't hire Black people, who the fuck are you? I don't answer to you niggas. I got stripes. It's my show. I'm the headliner. I do what the fuck I want to do. Earn your stripes and then talk to me.
Now, you know what just happened there, right?
What happened?
You just did a classic Aries Spears, or made a classic Aries Spears comment that you probably should have held on to. You right to feel that way, but you actually said it. And you know they are going to pick you a point for that. They gonna get you for that shit, bro.
Mikey Corleone wishes Sonny Corleone execution.
What do you think about people who say, who have a problem with you saying that you don't believe in God? Are you still with that belief?
I waver. And I said this many times. There are times when I look around and I see the beauty of the earth and places that I go to when I travel, and I go, man, that's God. That's God. Certain things I see on the news or read in the paper that's unexplainable and beautiful, I go, that's God.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at other things that happen and I go, there can't be a God. So I'm trying to figure out what my position is. But I think a lot of people that claim they believe in God and religion, they're hypocrites. Because the first thing they do when you tell them you don't believe is get irate. And they curse you, and they condemn you, and they damn you. And I'm going, wait a minute, isn't that against the Bible? Just because I don't believe in what you believe in, I'm pretty sure God would tell you that's not how you treat your fellow brother. You don't condemn them, you don't curse them, you don't cuss, you don't talk crazy. You talk to them, you create a dialogue, you try to understand them. And even if you don't agree, you still show them love, you still show them respect. So that proves my point, because I don't believe I'm worse than you, I'm scum, I'm a piece of shit, and you talk to me as such, you're a hypocrite. Practice what you preach.
Well, you know, Donald Trump believes in God also.
Yeah.
Well, at least he says he does.
And you know who his main backer is? Pastor Mark Burns.
Mark Burns?
That motherfucker. Pastor Mark Burns.
I thought it was
YouTube. Go to YouTube and look up Jordan Klepper, Trump Pastor Mark Burns.
Mm-hmm.
One of the funniest clips you'll ever see. Talk about a deer in headlights. The way Jordan Klepper corners this motherfucker and calls him on his bullshit. It's amazing. Amazing.
Hey, I want to do this. So I want to give you a situation, because let me preface this first of all by saying that, family, if you don't know, and even if you do know, I must give this man his propers. Aries Spears is one of the greatest, what you call it, impressionist? Is it called impressionist?
Either or, impressionists.
Impression. Yeah. He is one of the greatest to ever do it. Like,
thank you, sir.
When I say you can close your eyes and hear this man talk, and when he do impressions, like, it would feel like this man is talking, and this is the person, whoever he's doing the impression of, that's that person talking. Like, that's some good work. I mean,
thank you, King.
Blows my mind, man. I mean, I gotta.
Did you notice I said King?
I noticed you, brother. You know, you know how I know you said King? I stand up like a peacock when somebody calls me a king.
There you go.
I just rise, man. It made me want to do something great. Make me feel good. But I wanna throw out some things. I want to throw out a situation. I want to do something a little different here. I want to throw out a situation and attach a name to it. And you tell me what that person would do in that situation, in that person's voice. I want you to say what that person would do. All right?
All right, well, before you do it, same situation, but if right now, because here's the thing, sometimes, you know, when I get my drink and smoke on, it fuck with my voice. So okay. If I'll keep the situation, but depending on who the person is, I might swap that person out for somebody else.
That's good. That's good. I can ride with that.
All right.
Okay. I've always liked this impression, but it made me, when I saw you on DL the other day, it made me, it reminded me that I definitely need to get you to do Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney is giving a commencement speech at Harvard. What does he say?
All of you niggas, don't be fooled by these goddamn crackers. All of you niggas will graduate in school, but you won't graduate in life. These cops are killing niggas. Goddamn degrees and caps and gowns. White folks are known for wearing caps and gowns. They're called Klan uniforms, nigga. Do not be fooled by these niggas. These niggas don't care about you. All of them are looking at you niggas going, all of these niggas, these niggas are going to graduate and we are going to whip their ass. The cops, the judicial system, all of these niggas, you niggas are finished. White folks get scared when they see smart niggas. If a nigga talks intelligently, white folks look at you and go, ah, ah, this nigga's intelligent. Where did this nigga come from?
Dude, Willie, let me tell you, man. Willie, let me tell you. I recently did a thing on Instagram.
Oh, man.
I recently did a thing on Instagram. Shade Room, 1.6 million. There's a brother out of New York. His name is C King. His Instagram is at IAM_C King. We did Denzel Washington and Shaq, and then we did Dave Chappelle and Paul Mooney. When I tell you this brother's Denzel, the coldest you've ever seen. We know I do it. Dean Edwards does it. Did you see it?
I seen that. I seen him do it.
That brother is cold.
I know he cold. Yeah, he cold. But I still want you to do Denzel. I still want. Denzel is one of my favorites.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Denzel is a cop in New York City. He is given the task of keeping the peace during the coronavirus pandemic.
All right. Look, all right, everybody's got the coronavirus. Everybody's got it. Everybody's going through it. Everybody's hurt. You must stand in line and take your time with the toilet paper. All right, we all need to wipe our ass. That's what you're telling me. You got to wipe your ass. That's what you're telling me. I got to wipe my ass. My daughter has to wipe her ass. My wife, my son. We've all got to wipe our ass. Whether you use your hand or a sock, or whether you use paper towels. Paper towels got rib. They're like rib condoms. They feel good when they wipe against your crack. I know what I'm talking about. Huh? I know what I'm talking about. Willie!
Okay. One more, and then you can take it from there. Shaq teaching a classroom of fifth graders about geography.
Woo. Let me tell you something. I don't know much about geography, but I know a lot about math in terms of my numbers. As long as I get 28-10, I'm gonna dominate. Those are always in my numbers. When I play the paint, Kobe gotta pass me the ball, Derek Fisher gotta pass me the ball. If I get 28-10, I'm gonna dominate. I don't know what geometry is. That shit is confusing to me. But I know if you look at it like basketball terms, when I dominate big man, once I do the drop step, I do a little sky hook, that's when I dominate. I hit the boards. I'm Shaq Diesel, that's when I'm gonna dominate.
Man, what does Shaq think about that, man? Cause you spot on with it. I know you have to speak to Shaq about this before, right?
He loves it. He
right?
absolutely loves it. Yeah, dude. Shaq's been on Mad TV twice.
Yeah.
Of course, he called me to do the first Shaq's All-Star Comedy Jam.
Right.
Shaq loves me. He's one of my biggest fans. I remember one time I did a show, and this was when he was with the Miami Heat. I did a show in Florida and in Miami, and I was doing my show in Coconut Grove. And then we drove to South Beach after the show to go hang out. And as I was going into the club, Shaq was coming out. And Shaq seen me, and I went, Diesel, what's up, baby? So we slapped hands. And before he left, he was like,
hey, man, make sure you make fun of me on Mad TV. I love when you make fun of me, man. Don't nobody fuck with me like you fuck with me. You gotta make fun of me, all right?
So he loves it, man. He loves it.
Shaq, that's my dude, dog. That's my
dude.
Man. Yeah, that's funny as hell, man. And do a bonus, like give us one, you know, out of your hat.
Oh shoot. Damn. Damn. You really put me on the spot. Okay. Give me a Cosby question.
A Bill Cosby question?
Yeah.
How about Bill Cosby? Bill, look, we need to know if you did it. Just tell us the truth, and we'll let you out.
You know, Willie D, I came along at a time when men in the 70s did what they wanted to do. Did I quaalude the bitches? Maybe I did a little bit. It was a cocktail. It was a harmless time. I was trying to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. So a lot of people get sensitive, but I'm running things in the prison. I want you to know, every day we have Salisbury steak, we have mashed potatoes, and for dessert, we have pudding. The prisoners love it. That's right. They gave me a nickname. They call me PP. And you say, what does PP stand for? Pudding pop, nigga. Yes, no. There we go.
Excellent, baby boy. Excellent.
Appreciate you,
excellent. Man, before I know you got to get out of here, man, and I really do appreciate you giving me this much time.
No doubt.
How is it that, you know, I know you've had your ups and downs in the industry and everything, but how is it that you still remain relevant and you're still able to pack the house when you go into these spots with like little or no heads up that you even like, even in the city, like you put your name on there and people show up. You know?
This is where I have to tip my hat to the people, because oftentimes when I give analogies, I use sports because I think sports so much lends itself to life. I'm gonna put it in boxing terms. There's the people's champ and then there's the paper champ. Mm-hmm. Very few boxers are both. Muhammad Ali on paper and to the people was the champ. Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson was the champ on paper. And by paper, I mean the industry, the business. And he was the people's champ. Some dudes ain't both. Some dudes is one or the other. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm one of those guys. I think on paper to the industry, I ain't shit. They ain't a fan of mine. They don't respect me. They ain't looking for me. Mm-hmm. To the people, I'm the shit. And I think the people real recognize real respects real. And I think people, and I'm not trying to be vain, but I'm telling you what people say. Because when you look at my posts and you look at the fact that I say the things I say, and the fact that I'm able to tie together humor along with social consciousness and seriousness, and people agree with what I say because they know it's coming from a place of realism and the heart, people respect that. And a lot of people have said, yo, Aries, you are so underrated, so underappreciated. I don't want to say underrated because, you know, the people know who the fuck I am. The industry, I ain't underrated. They just don't like me for obvious reasons. So to answer your question, I think there's a shortage of real and honest. And we live in such a moist ass era of political correctness that people are starving for it. They want honesty. They don't want 15th place trophies. They want honesty. Yeah. And I think that I do that. And I think that when you look at my body of work, whether it's my 8 years that was on Mad TV, the first Shaq All-Star Comedy Jam that I did with Kevin Hart, D-Ray, Cedric, which everybody says to this day was the best one. My year that I did with Damon Wayans on the Underground, the movies I've been in, the talk show interviews, the Vlad TV interviews, people can look at me and go, I believe him. I like that guy. He's real. He's authentic. Excuse me. And I think that's what's sustained me.
I don't think, and I agree with that. I actually agree with that just from the outside looking in. You know, because I kind of feel the same way you would feel like about a hip hop artist that you know is the shit, but don't get their accolades from the industry. The people, right. the people that know. So I personally don't believe that you're underappreciated. I think the people appreciate you.
But that's what I'm saying. The people do.
It
The
is
industry.
It is the gatekeepers. It's the industry, the gatekeepers that really deny the people more action and I guess large scale access to you, because
Right.
people want to see you in the blockbuster movies. They know you can carry movies. You know, people know that they know you can carry a blockbuster movie.
Me too.
People know that you can carry, people know that you could steal the show. Even if they gave you 5 minutes on the screen, people know that you could steal it. And it kind of, it pisses, as a fan, it pisses people off that it's that way when you know that there are people out there that's getting it, that ain't even, that, you know, can't even, you know, carry your jock strap. But, you know, but they're viewed as these people that are, you know, on this big time pedestal and everything. And that's a shitty deal, man.
Well, here's the beauty of social media, though, and you know, this is a good thing, because I always say social media to me is a blessing and a curse. You know, you're always one hit away in Hollywood from changing things, whether it's a viral video, a commercial, a special, a TV show, a movie, a moment. You're always one hit away. True. Because Hollywood is all about money and it's all about numbers. And if you can show on paper that you have the ability to generate numbers, all is forgiven. I once had an agent tell me, if Hitler could prove that he could open up a box office weekend, he'd be a star. So, you know, and I say social media is a blessing and a curse because it's a blessing in that sense, that it gives us another platform to go, you know what, gatekeepers? We don't have to go through y'all. It's easier if we go through y'all, but there's another way. It's a curse because it allows motherfuckers who are destined for minimum wage to talk shit to people they ain't qualified to talk shit to. Mm-hmm. There's no way, if you work a 9 to 5 and you don't have the guts to go after your dream, you don't have the will, the knowledge, you let fear keep you from your dream, that you're gonna talk to me about being washed up? You're not even in the 50% tax bracket. How dare you? How dare you? It gives people courage, false courage, that you could talk to somebody great and think that you should be able to get away with that. Ice-T follows me. He's been a big supporter of mine. And I remember I would get so upset that I would jump to his defense when I was on Twitter. And people would go, man, you old and you washed up. I'm like, this nigga is on Law and Order SUV for 20 years, a dramatic show on a major network. Do you have any idea what that check is? 20 years.
You know what though? Even if he wasn't on there, his body of work.
But that's what I was getting to. But that's what I was getting. Willie, I'm going, even if it wasn't the show,
right?
The music, the movies, the history, the rock group, the touring. This man is an icon.
Yeah.
How dare you? What, like I'm going, you regular motherfucker, what have you ever done in your life to qualify you to call a rap icon like Ice-T washed up? That don't even begin to make sense. Mm-hmm. So look, it's a good tool that allows fans to possibly mingle with their favorite celebrities. But it also sucks because it can be disrespectful. And my whole thing has always been, not saying these celebrities gonna do something for you, because 90% of the time, they won't. 90% of the time, they don't even respond to you. And they act like they don't give a fuck about you, no matter how much you compliment them and show them love. But there is a window. And even if you don't get nothing but advice, if you're an actor and Wesley Snipes responds to you, Sam Jackson, Don Cheadle, who all follow me, respond to you, that's worth something. Why would you blow that opportunity because you want to front and act like you bigger than them, or you want to be disrespectful and put your dick on the table. That's dumb. That's fucking dumb.
I agree. I agree absolutely 100%. So what we gonna do now? Like, so the dates have been canceled. What is the? I guess there's no plan in sight right now. Immediately plan in sight for any type of new dates because they don't even know when this country gonna be back up.
Well, again, they said the target is April 30th. So, which means that by May, everything technically should be back open for business.
Right.
We should start going back towards normalcy. So that's what they're saying.
So in the meantime, if somebody want to get a taste of what Aries is doing, they're gonna catch you on where? Instagram?
Catch me on Instagram, but more importantly, because I need the support. I have a podcast. It's called Spears and Steinberg, The Jew and the Jerk. It's available through iTunes, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, and Spearsburg.com. Or you could just send me a DM in my Instagram under Aries Spears, and I'll personally send you a link.
You know what? And I'll put a link in the description also after we end the broadcast. I'll put a link in there so they can just easily just click on and bam,
right,
and go right to it. In fact, you know what? I could do it right now while we're on. What is the what's the site?
It's called Spears. It's called Spearsburg. SPEARS.
Yeah.
BERG.com.
Spearsburg.
Yeah.
Okay. .com. Okay, there you go, fam.
Yeah.
There's the link.
So there it is. And this is where, again, I'm gonna make a plea to my people. Like Hollywood, all this entertainment shit, it's like high school. There's clubs and cliques. The jocks sit with the jocks, the nerds with the nerds, the goth kids with the goth kids. And I've tried to get on certain other podcasts because to be successful in the podcast world, it helps to be on other people's podcasts. And I've been turned down by some of the top white boys in the game. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm not going to be hat in hand, help me. So I'm going to make a plea to my people. Please support the podcast. It's free. Download it. Spearsburg.com. It's available on all major streaming platforms. Download it. We need to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, build it and they'll come. That's the way I look at it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
If you build it, they'll come.
We straight cocaine, baby. No, nothing to dilute it. We blue magic. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name.
Hey, I'm gonna give some shout outs right quick, and I like you to give the subscribers a blessing and let a couple people ask you a couple questions. Then we can shut it down. But first of all, family, welcome the newest member to the WillieDLive channel, Latanya Terry. What's up, Latanya? Gold Digger. Gold Digger is asking about squashing the beef, wants the beef squashed. Who is it? Seth Rich is a hero. I understand that Mr. Spears doesn't want to comment on politics, but why should we vote for someone with no black agenda? I can tell you that. You shouldn't. Bam, let's keep it moving. Mark, time to add to you up. Respect to WillieD for everything that you do. Absolutely. What's up, Kurt Monroe? Appreciate you, Kurt. So I would like to at least get just a couple questions. Like really good. I want something good that's going to be worth your time for sticking around. Let's see. The record state. Here we go. Live chat. I am Nightmare Walking Classic Line. Do Richard Pryor before you leave. Do you do Richard Pryor? Somebody asked.
No, brother, no. I wish I could, man. I wish I could.
Yeah, it's direct weapon. You know what I want to ask you? Man, how long does it take for you to do to come up with an impression, like to master an impression?
It's automatic. It's like singing. It's like having an ear for note, tone, inflection. Everybody's voice is an inflection. So either you have it or you don't. You know, like Shaq is bassy. Everything's down here. As long as you and everything down there, 28-10. When he says 28-10, and that cadence, you in pocket. Paul Mooney.
All of it, nigga. All of it, nigga, is gravelly. All of it. And the head movements, nigga, you know. That rhythm, nigga.
So it's just, if you're in pocket, you're in pocket.
Right. Right. So Deldre, who is this? Deldre? Limpcomb said that, I lost it. Okay. That's actually Dildre. Limpcomb said, do you think Black people will overcome the oppressive society, this oppressive society?
Let me answer that as Paul Mooney.
When all them white folks inspire, niggas will take over.
There your answer. Never. Okay, let's go. Let's get one more in here. Somebody's asking for you to do Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I'll get to the chopper, Dylan. Come here, kill me. It's the predator. Please, we can kill it.
Say, man, that impression that you did with Schwarzenegger and Stallone, man. Say, dude, you know, when you have work that people can define, and you have several moments, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. You know, some comedians, and they're even good comedians. There are a lot of comedians that are good who make a lot of money, and they ain't got but like really 2-3 signature things.
Right.
Man.
Willie, you see, Willie, this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. And again, my zodiac sign is I'm an Aries. So by nature, we real confident / cocky. So I ain't trying to be vain, but I've been doing this 30 years, man. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, I look up to Patrice, I look up to Dave, because when it's like, let me put it in rap terms. When a rapper comes out with an album, some dudes, let's say they do 20 tracks, half of it is hot, or maybe a quarter of it is hot. When you can do a Nas or a Jadakiss, where 18 out of 20 tracks is fire, that's what I want to do with comedy. I don't want to do between hello and good night. I want you to go, man, I couldn't breathe, man.
Yeah.
That motherfucker didn't let me up for air. I'm going to beat the show up.
Yeah.
Beat it up.
Well, you've been beating them up for a long time. Family, thank you, man. Aries Spears is in the building, family. I appreciate
you, Willie.
Man. I appreciate you, bro.
And you know what? Next time I come through Houston, we got to get you on the podcast.
Absolutely. Just let me know.
Because I'd like to interview you about the state of hip hop and what you think, amongst other things, because I know your range goes beyond just music. So absolutely. I would love to return the favor, man.
Absolutely. Take care of yourself, man.
Yes, sir. You too, brother.
Salute.
Love.